Hello beautiful people, welcome back or welcome to my channel. We're gonna be picking our April TBR. It seems like I just did this. March went by so quickly, I was so busy, and I was getting a lot of things prepped for April. I'm really excited for April. It is gonna be an amazing month, so I'm hoping we get some good reads today. I apologize if I sound a little funny or look kind of disheveled. I am dealing with really bad allergies at the moment. Anytime the weather starts to change, my allergies get really bad, and we've been switching between rainy, overcast, and semi-nice weather the last week, so my allergies have been trying to take me out the last week, so I apologize. But even if my allergies are trying to kill me, we can still pick some reads, okay? And I do want to switch up how we pick our TBR in the coming months, but I didn't have enough time to get those situated for April. But we do have a little upgrade. We actually have a jar now. I went through and I made a bunch more prompts. We are no longer using my little mushroom mug. Let me just tell you, I don't know how many are in here, but they're pretty packed. It's gonna be probably a little hard to like mix them up. I won't be able to really mix them up. I don't even remember what I wrote on these prompts. I guess that is a plus to having ADHD. I don't know. But I think we're gonna pick 6 again, which I think is what I've been picking every month, but that's just because I have little faith in myself of reading much more than that. We might pick a couple more, I'm not really sure. I've also been wanting to read more on my Kindle, especially using my Kindle Unlimited since I'm paying for it, so it's kind of hard to always get to all the books that I pick in these prompt videos. We might pick like 6 to 8, and I might not get to all of them in the month of April, but it's nice to have options, you know. I'm a little bit of a mood reader myself. I rarely try to force myself into reading specific books. Sometimes I do, but I'm mostly a mood reader. But it's good to have options, so we're gonna pick a couple, and then there are only a couple books that I'm hoping that prompts work for. Either way, I know April is gonna be a good month, so let's get some good books. Pick one at a time. Okay, I got random Insta rec, which the handwriting's kind of shit on some of these because I rushed writing them, but this is a random Insta rec, so I'm gonna go on Instagram. I'll either look at like stories, or if there is a book review, book recommendation at the top of my Instagram feed, I will read that book. Hopefully I have it, or it's a Kindle Unlimited book. I won't be able to do that right this second because I'm filming on my phone, but I will record, like I'll screen record my screen to show. Yes, screen record my screen to show you guys which book I'm picking from Instagram after we're done. That is our first prompt. Okay, our second one is, I almost got 2 again. I'm just gonna shove the other one back in. Our second prompt is name in the title, and that seems like a really stupid, you're like, all titles are a name. It's the name of the book. This just means that I have to pick a book where the character's name is in the title. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure that I've got a couple of these to pick from. Third one is a green cover. There are a lot of color options in this jar just because that is an easy prompt to write. I'm just gonna hope that I don't get too many of those because it makes it kind of boring that way, but I dropped it. Our fourth one is a book with a map, which I got this one last month as well. It just means fantasy, which could be good. I'm in the middle of fantasy series at the moment, so this could be a good thing. But it usually means long book, and I'm not against reading longer book, but I've just been so busy, and I have mentioned in a couple of videos, I think, I don't mind longer books whatsoever, but I do have trips coming up in the future, and I've just been super busy, so it can be a bit harder or a bit more daunting to pick up like a 500-page book, but I think I have a couple ideas for that one. Next one is a banned book. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up some articles about banned books. I'm sure I've read quite a few banned books at this point. I'm just gonna hope that I have one. The banned book one is probably gonna be more of like a classic or an older novel, which is totally fine, but those can also be kind of daunting to read sometimes. So we have 5, so I'm picking our 6th one. I think I'm gonna pick 8, and then it'll give me more options of books to choose from during the month of April. Part of a series is our 6th one, which is good. I'm in the middle of a lot of series, so I'm okay with that. Okay, our 7th prompt is by favorite author. There are some new releases by some of my preferred authors. Fave author is kind of difficult. Unfortunately, my phone died, but I picked out the 8th one. I don't know if before my phone died, it actually caught me picking it out, but the 8th and final prompt for this video is one word title, which I don't have any titles in mind, but I feel like this one could be pretty easy to pick, kind of a free-for-all. So those are our 8 prompts for April. I feel like this kind of video would be so much easier if I had like those TBR cards that everybody does, because then I could easily like show you guys the books that I can choose from, but I don't. So I'm going to kind of look around my bookshelves, figure out what prompts I'm looking for, and then we'll go from there, and I'll hopefully get some footage of me actually picking out the books, because last month I did actually kind of pick them out with you guys, but still not the easiest video to film because my books are all over the place. But I'm gonna get started on looking for a book. While looking for a book with a green cover, I honestly had a bit of trouble. I feel like I don't have a ton of green books, so out of the very few options that I had, there is this Tana French book called The Searcher, which I just recently bought, or I have Pure Color, which I've had for a couple of years now, I believe, and it is just a green blob on the front. This is also a part of my 24 for 24. I believe this is just a general fiction novel that kind of reads like nonfiction. I don't believe it actually is nonfiction though. I feel like I need these more mundane kind of reads at least once a month. I feel like it can be a nice break from the fantasy and romance worlds that I usually find myself in. So I think I'm gonna go with Pure Color, especially because I think this has been on my TBR for quite a while now, so I feel like this should be the pick. This is a book that I already kind of knew which one I was going to choose for it, and that is by favorite author, or like I said, this is probably more of like a preferred author prompt, and that is going to be Happy Place by Emily Henry. They finally had the paperback in stock, and I got it at Target, and I have restrained myself from reading it because I'm trying to finish my March TBR before I pick up any new books. So we're gonna add this one. It's kind of like cheating a little bit because I know that I would have read this whether it was on my TBR or not, but we're gonna choose this one for favorite author. I actually had a lot more options than I thought for a one-word title, and Bunny, I think I've tried to choose every single month this year already. Tithe is a part of the world of The Cruel Prince, which I read in January, which it would be nice to get this off of my TBR, but it is a series, so I don't know if I want to tackle too many series in April. And then Uprooted is a modern fairy tale retelling. It's based on Polish folklore, which I think would be really interesting to read, and I know she has a couple other books in this series. They're kind of standalones within a series, but I really want to read these two, but I think because I keep putting Bunny to the side and it is part of my 24 for 24, we're going to choose Bunny. Honestly, while looking for like a banned book, it was really hard to find one that I owned and like hadn't already read, like The Great Gatsby, and a lot of them were classics that I was seeing for the banned books, but a lot of them I read like back in high school. One that I hadn't read that I do own is The Catcher in the Rye, and there's a lot of mixed reviews on this book, but we're choosing The Catcher in the Rye for my banned book. This book has been banned a lot in school settings because of the language that it uses, violence, drug abuse, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna add this to the pile. Honestly, this month is adding up to the weirdest TBR I think ever. And while we're here, I think for book with a map, I'm gonna pick The Traitor Queen, which is the second book in the Bridge Kingdom series, and I'm gonna show you it does have a map. I don't have the physical copy of it, but it is on Kindle Unlimited, and it has a map, I promise you. So we're gonna pick The Traitor Queen. for a book with a map. And I think just because I already in this video said I was avoiding this book, for a book that's in a part of a series, we're choosing the Hawthorne Legacy. I know that I didn't really take you guys along with me this month to pick them off my shelves, but if I'm being honest with you guys, it is just a whole hassle and a half to show you guys each of my bookshelves and all the which ways that my books are. Next month though, we're gonna switch it up a little bit and hopefully I can be more interactive with you guys in choosing the books. But the last book that we need to choose is a random Insta rec, so I'm gonna show you that probably in like a little screen recording, and then we'll have our TBR for April. I didn't end up screen recording my Instagram feed because I'm gonna have to voice over it, and that is just a whole another step that does not need to be taken. So I'm gonna show you a screenshot. I went on the like explore feed tab and I found the first one that had a book on it. This one has Happy Place and 7 Year Slip in the photo, and we already picked Happy Place for this month, so I think it's a perfect time to also read the 7 Year Slip. We're gonna be twinning with this Bookstagrammer, and if you guys want to follow my Instagram, it's always down below in the description along with my other socials. I'm trying to post more on Instagram for book content, but I just am really bad at coming up with Bookstagram content, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. And that concludes our really weird April TBR. So starting off pretty regular for me, we've got Happy Place by Emily Henry, we've got the 7 Year Slip, which also I've heard really good things about, the Hawthorne Legacy, which I've been avoiding, The Catcher in the Rye, which is quite a weird pick. I know we all are gonna agree on that. Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This may make me cry, I'm not really sure, but exciting to get it off my TBR, I guess. Bunny, which has been on my TBR forever now, and I need to get it off. Somebody please hold me to reading this in April. And then Pure Color, which has also been on my TBR for a really long time. And The Traitor's Queen, which is on my Kindle and I don't have in the physical copy. And while this TBR isn't necessarily what I would normally choose for myself, which is a lot of romance, some fantasy, some mystery thrillers, I think it's good to also get out of your comfort zone every now and again. And I know a lot of us are really stuck on reading the popular, wildly recommended books, usually on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, that kind of stuff. And a lot of these have been highly recommended or are very popular, but there's also a little mix of not as popular books in here, which is good, and books that I would definitely continue putting off. So that is our picks for my April TBR. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did filming it. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more from me. I promise I have some really fun videos coming up, and I will see you guys in the next one.